Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So here I have another 10 pens currently inked this week. I think let's go through these briefly one by one. We'll go through them in a little bit more detail and then we'll do a writing sample. So from left to right we have a Wahl Eversharp, a Decoband Oversize in the wild. We have a Montegrappa Extra 1930 Shiny Lines Dove. We have an Omas, and this is the Arte Italiana Paragon Grande in the Arco Brown. We have a Visconti Manhattan Arco. We have a Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the Lapis Lazuli. We have a Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the red marble. We have an Armando Monika Bologna Extra in the Arco Verde. We have a Visconti Divina Elegance in the green and a Visconti Divina Elegance in the brown. And also an Armando Monika Bologna Extra Black and Gold Lucens. So I think let's take a look at these pens inked up in a little bit more detail. So this is the Wahl Eversharp Decoband Oversize. And this is in the wild. Now, if you're not aware, wild is a celluloid. Sometimes it's called the wild side. This has a Wahl Eversharp medallion there, and also Wahl Eversharp on the clip. And then you have a Greek keyband that goes around the whole of the cap there. Now, these are pneumatic filling mechanisms. So if I can get that to focus there a little bit, you'll see there's a hole there, and you unscrew this. It's got a metal cylinder inside. You put your finger over and you push that down, let go, and that creates a vacuum, and ink will suck up through the nib and feed into the what is a rubber or latex sac within the body. Now, this does have a number 8 size 18 karat gold Wahl Eversharp Superflex nib. These are a medium nib that typically write more broad. They write very, very wet. I do like this a lot. I do like how this writes. It does write very wet. So you do have to be a little bit careful really in what, if you're going to write in notebooks, what kind of notebook you're going to write in. If you're going to write in something that has cheap paper, it's going to feather like crazy and probably bleed through. If you are going to use something like Tomoe River, then it will behave itself. However, it will probably take at least 5 or 6 minutes for the ink to dry before you can turn the page. So you do have to be a little bit careful on what paper that you write with on both the Wahl Eversharp Decoband Oversizes and also the Armando Monika Bologna Extras, because they are super wet writing nibs. And I have to say, I do like a super wet writing nib. It just makes the nib glide across the page really, really beautifully. So the next pen I have inked up is the Montegrappa Extra 1930 Shiny Lines Dove. You can see here it has 1912 because that's when Montegrappa was founded. And it also on the cap band here says Montegrappa. Now, I've not polished this. This is sterling silver trims, so I've not polished this for a while. I probably do need to think about polishing this again because it's going a little bit dull. It is sterling silver, so you do need to polish it to keep it shiny. The Shiny Lines Dove was actually a pen that was made by Montegrappa for Goulet pens, and I was so glad that I was able to pick this up when it came out. You'll see there, you've got the dove there, and you'll see here that also, if I can get this in focus a little bit, see if I can focus that. There you go. 14 of 88 pens. So I think this is 88. Yeah. Or 80 even, actually. Sorry. 14 of 80. I'm trying to look through the camera, which is very high. So 14 of 80. So only 80 pens worldwide. It does also have the Montegrappa Dove nib there as well. It's a number 8 size nib. It is a medium nib. The number 8 size nibs on Montegrappa are actually pushed into the sections quite a lot. Does have an ebonite feeder there as well. I do like this pen a lot. It's a little bit on the shorter side to kind of pens that I typically like writing with, but I do like it. And I say that this is almost a Pelican, probably maybe slightly longer than a Pelican M800, but it's not quite as thin as a Pelican M800. So when I compare it to, say, what would be like a Visconti Homo sapiens, it's a little bit shorter, not by much though. I know this isn't a Homo sapiens, but it's almost Homo sapiens size. That's the Medici. The next pen inked up is the Omas Arte Italiana Paragon Grande, and this is in the Arco Brown. This is a beautiful pen from Omas. They've long shut their doors now, and you can still buy Omas's. And I bought this, I think it was around 2017, 2018 maybe, from a friend at the London Pen Club when it was still running. And he came back over about 3 or 4 months wanting to sell this pen. What he wanted was a little bit too high. I, in the end, caved and said, you know what, look, I'll give you that money. I'd rather it end up in my collection than somebody else's, honestly. So I did pay it. And to be honest, when you look at the prices nowadays, yeah, I could sell this for double easily, because the Arco prices have gone through the roof. Now, this is the Arte Italiana. It's a piston filling pen, just like the Montegrappa. It does have a silver section. It's a gold vermil though, so gold plated over silver. You have the Omas nib there. It's a medium nib with an ebonite feeder. It really, really is a beautiful pen. I do like it a lot. The nib actually clicked. The tines were a little bit tight, and the two tines were like doing this a lot and rubbing. I did get the nib adjusted slightly by John Soroka in the UK. He literally spent 5 minutes on it and charged me £25. He didn't actually do anything like to the nib. All he did was like twisted and pulled it, and then charged me £25. And also complained that I don't clean my nibs properly. But yeah, just joking aside, he fixed the nib. And I had tried to fix that nib for hours on end, and I couldn't stop it from clicking. So I am really glad, even though it cost me £25 for less than 5 minutes work, he fixed that nib for me. And this is why you need to sometimes take a nib to a nib meister. I can smooth nibs, I can make them like wetter, I can even make them like drier, but I still struggle with adjusting a clicky nib. And if you don't know, a clicky nib is when you've got your two tines here, and if you're putting pressure slightly on one tine, it's rubbing and it's doing that, and it click, click, click. So it's just one of those things. You just need to reseat the nib on the feed. He didn't even take the nib or feed out. He just literally just pulled and tugged and twisted and then fixed it. The next pen I have inked up this week is the Visconti Manhattan Arco, and this again is a really limited edition one. Now I'm going to try and see here. It does have an imprint here. It's a limited edition one of 70 pens. Now, there was a lot of controversy around when these came out, because Manu had suggested that Visconti had ruined a number of the rods, and Visconti, I think, had said no, that the rods were just terrible to start with. So 70 pens didn't actually get made in the end, as I understand it. So I think it was more closer to about 40, 45, 50, something around that mark. But these sold really, really quickly. I was really lucky I managed to get this from Sarge Minhas, the one-man pen show. I'd actually, Sarge was going over literally when this was coming out. He was going over to the LA Pen Show in February, I think it was, that year. And I said to him, there's two pens I want. If you see them out there, please buy them, and I will pay you whatever you want for them. Yeah, that's not a good thing to say to somebody like Sarge. However, Sarge is honest and he is good, so he didn't charge me the earth for this one. But I'd asked him for another ASC pen, and I asked him for this one, and he managed to pick this one up. So this is a Power Vac. It's a double reservoir. It has the newer 18 karat gold nib. Now this wrote, I would honestly say, a little bit scratchy, very, very dry, and I have flossed this nib probably a dozen or more times over separate attempts. It writes more wetter, it writes more how I like it to write. So it's got a single thread there, so that pattern always lines up 100%, which I'm glad of as well. The Omas typically will have a triple thread start, so you have a 1 in 3 chance of actually getting that pattern to line up exactly. The next pen here is a Visconti Medici Il Magnifico. This is in the Lapis Lazuli. Now, in contrast to these two pens, or actually even all four actually, this is a heavy pen. It's made of solid granite or solid marble and solid silver, AG925. It's got this gold plating or gold vermeil on, so it's gold over silver. But this is a heavy, heavy pen. It's a Power Vac. It's got the hook safe lock. It is a single reservoir. It's not a double reservoir. It has the newer 18 karat gold nib from Visconti, the in-house nib. This is a medium, ABS plastic feed, but I do like this. I like it a lot. I find that this is the length of most Visconti Homo sapiens almost, and I like those. Although I really like the weight of them, I do like the weight of this as well. So I think I always harp on about, for me, the Visconti Homo sapiens are the right length, the right width, the right weight as well. Although I do like the weight on this. So I think it probably boils down to the length and the girth of the pen, and likewise how long the section is, how comfortable it is to hold the pen. So for me, this is a beautiful pen. I like it a lot. That I have in my collection, and I have it inked up this week as well. Now, this is another version of the Visconti Medici Il Magnifico. This was the first one in the red marble. Now, this, again, is a beautiful pen. It's solid silver. It's got this aged look to it with a solid marble as well. It really is a beautiful pen. It's, again, the right size, the girth, the weight. For me, it really is the right size of pen. And as much as I do like some of these oversized pens, I do gravitate more back to these because I find these a little bit more comfortable to write with, even though these ones are more heavier. Now, this has the older 23 karat palladium medium nib on it. This is just, it's a gorgeous pen. Now, I have had an issue with this, and these hook safe locks on the Magnificos, because they are metal, can be a little bit sharp to the touch. And inside the cap here, you have effectively a plastic inner, and that can eventually shear off. There are 4 stops inside this, and it may be very hard for me to show you, but there are 4 stops inside that cap, and they do shear off over time. So I did have to send this back to Visconti in 2021. They did ship it back to me, and they have fixed it. It did take quite a long time. I think I sent it off in towards the end of July, and I got it back in November. So it did take quite a bit of time, but and it was more towards, I think, the end of November as well. But it is repaired, and I'm liking that. So will the other, I've got 2 other pens. I've got the Lapis Lazuli and I've got the black marble at the moment. Will they go the same way? Possibly. I don't know. I think it is a little bit of a design flaw. The metal hook safe lock against a plastic hook safe lock female section inside the cap. However, I guess time will tell. So I will have to wait and see. but it's an easy fix for Visconti. They can fix it. I hope if that does happen, then they will fix that as well. The next pen is this one, and this is inked up this week. It's an Armando Simoni Bologna Extra, and it's in the Arco Verde. And I did have this inked up last week. I do have 4 of these, and I just haven't written with these a lot lately. So I decided that I need to start writing with some of these ASC Bologna Extras again. I like how they write. They write super wet. I do love how they write. It's just that I've been gravitating more towards other pens. Now, this has a Armando Simoni number 8 size Magic Flex nib on this pen. It's a medium nib. It writes more like a broad and very wet, but for me, I like these pens a lot. And I do have 4, and I have had a lot of people over the last few years ask me if I want to sell 1 or 2 of them. And each time I keep thinking, well, do I or don't I? And it's difficult. Would I only sell pens from my collection if I know that I'm not going to miss them. And honestly, I've got 4 of these. So am I going to miss 1 or 2 of them? Possibly a little bit, but I've still got 1 or 2 more. However, yeah, I can't bring myself yet to sell them. I probably will at some point. But for me at the moment, probably not. But who knows? You never know. The next pen I have inked up is this beauty, and this is the Visconti, and this is a Divina Elegance, and this is in the green. This is a beautiful pen. I do like it a lot, and I did actually also at the same time as sent this one off as well for repair, because the cap was very, very tight on the hook safe lock mechanism, and now it's not. So I do like this a lot. I love writing with this pen, and I got this inked up again this week. So it's a medium 23 cap palladium nib, ABS plastic feed there, but yeah, I just do like this a lot. So for me, that is again a beautiful pen. I just love the chatoyance on this pen. Look at that. That is absolutely amazing. So I really do like this pen a lot. So for me, that one is inked up again this week as well. And then I have its brother or sibling or sister. And this again is a Visconti Divina Elegance, and this is in the brown. And again, this is a beautiful chatoyance that's going on here with that pen. It is a stunning pen. I managed to pick this up a number of years ago, very, very cheaply. I picked it up after the Elegance Green, but I picked this up in an eBay auction, and I got it for a steal. And I do like it. I still like it a lot. So for me, this is again a beautiful, beautiful pen. And yeah, I like writing with it. So this again has a medium 23 cap palladium nib. These Divina Elegances actually have these push-pull converters, and basically you pull that out and you twist it. These can be quite tight, some can be quite loose as well. So, but for me, this is a beautiful pen. So I have that one inked up. And then the final pen is this one, and I had this one inked up last week. It's the Armando Simoni Bologna Extra, and it's a black Lucens, or black and gold Lucens as I call it. Beautiful honey colouring. It really is a beautiful, beautiful colour. So I do like this a lot. You can see that there, that colour. You do see the pneumatic filling mechanism inside that, because it is a pneumatic mechanism. It's got a sack as well, but this is a beautiful honey material. So if I unscrew this, you'll see here it's got a number 8 size Magic Flex nib there. It's a medium nib, right, it's very wet, more like a broad, but I love it. So I've got that one inked up with me this week as well. So I think with that, let's go and do a writing sample. So the first pen is the Wahl Eversharp Decoband Oversize in the Wild. So let's do an ink swatch here. So just had a little bit of a hard start there getting this to write, but because I've not written with this for a while. So this is the Wahl Eversharp. It's the Decoband Oversize in the wild. It's got a medium and it's an 18 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Waterman Intense Black. But that is a lovely black ink. The next pen is the Montegrappa Extra 1930 Shiny Lines Dove. So we'll do an ink swatch. And you can see that, again, this is quite a wet writing nib. So this is the Montegrappa Extra 1930, and it's the Shiny Lines. Oh, and let me prime that. I think, oh no, I'm actually out of ink. Right, let me just re-ink that back up. So it's the Shiny Lines Dove, and it is a medium, and it's an 18 cat gold nib. What a way to run out of ink on camera. And the ink in here is Diamine, and it's Earl Grey. The next pen here is the Omas Arte Italiana Paragon Grande in the Arco Brown. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is also quite a wet writing nib. I never actually had any issues with how wet or dry the nib wrote. It was just that it used to click a lot. So this is the Omas Arte Italiana Paragon Grande, and it's in the Arco Brown. And I'm running out of space. It's a medium 18 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Ackerman SBRE Brown, which is a brown ink that I do like a lot. It's made by Diamine for Ackerman, and it's labelled with Stephen Brown's name. The next pen inked up is the Visconti Manhattan Arco. So we'll do an ink swatch here. Now this, I still kind of think that this writes more like an extra fine nib, honestly. At least compared to a lot of my medium nibs that typically write more like a broad. So this is the Visconti Manhattan Arco. And it is a medium, and it's the newer in-house 18 karat gold nibs. It was the first batch that Visconti had made. And then the ink in here is, again, Ackerman SBRE Brown. But you will see a difference there between the light and the dark colour of that ink. The next pen is the Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the Lapis Lazuli. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is a stunning, I want to call it a blue, but it's more of a lilac or violet, maybe not even violet actually, but it's so this is the Visconti, and it's the Medici Il Magnifico, and it's the Lapis Lazuli, and it is a medium 18 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Pilot Iroshizuku Zuku, and it's Aji Sei, which is a beautiful, beautiful sort of almost a forget-me-not blue colour ink. The next pen inked up is the Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the red marble. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is a beautiful, beautiful ink. So this is the Visconti Medici Il Magnifico, and it is in the red marble. It is a medium. It's not an 18 cat gold, it's actually a 23 cat palladium nib. And then the ink in here is a Pelican, Edelstein or Edelstein, and it's Star Ruby, which is quite a nice coloured ink. The next pen inked up is the Armada Monika Bologna Extra Arco Verde. So we'll do an ink swatch. And you can see it's just right, super wet, this nib. So this is an ASC Bologna Extra Arco Verde, and it is a medium 18 cat gold. It's a Magic Flex nib, and then the ink in here is Akamon, and it's Bazuden Wood Grown, which is a beautiful green ink for me. The next pen is the Visconti Divina Elegance in green. So we'll do an ink swatch. Now, this is another nib that I do find, although it's a medium, tends to write more like a fine nib from Visconti. It's quite a stiff nib as well, even though it's a 23 cat palladium nib. So this is the Visconti Divina Elegance in the green, and it's a medium 23 cat palladium nib, and then the ink in here is Diamine Apple Glory, which is a beautiful green ink, very bright green ink. The next pen is the Visconti Divina Elegance in brown. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And this is another firmer 23 cat palladium nib I have. So this is the Visconti Divina Elegance in the brown. It is a medium 23 cat palladium nib, and then the ink in here is KWZ Nuki Brown, which is a beautiful, beautiful brown ink. And then the last pen inked up is the Armando Monika Bologna Extra in the black and gold Lucens. So we'll do an ink swatch. And as you can see here, this writes very, very wet. So this is the ASC Bologna Extra, and it is in the black and gold Lucens, and it is a medium 18 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here is KWZ Honey, which is a beautiful, beautiful honey coloured ink. So I think let's take a look at these pens inked up one more time. We have a Wahl Eversharp Decoband Oversize in the Wild, in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Waterman Intense Black. We have a Montegrappa Extra 1930 Shiny Lines Dove in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. We have an Omas Arte Italiana Paragon Grande in the Arco Brown in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Akerman SBRE Brown. We have a Visconti Manhattan Arco Brown in the medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Akerman SBRE Brown. We have a Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the Lapis Lazuli in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Pilot Owashizuku Aji Sei. We have a Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the red marble in a medium 23 karat palladium nib inked up with Pelican Edelstein Star Ruby. We have an Armando Simoni Bologna Extra, and this is in the Arco Verde in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Akerman Bazoodan Woodgrown. We have a Visconti Divina Elegance in the green in a medium 18 karat medium 23 karat palladium nib inked up with Diamine Apple Glory. We have a Visconti Divina Elegance brown in a medium 23 karat palladium nib inked up with KWZ Nuki Brown. And then we have the Armando Simoni Club Bologna Extra, and this is the black and gold Lucens in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with KWZ Honey. So there you have it, that's my currently inked pens for this week. Thanks for watching, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.